Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Gyro. Hello from Lake of Kalandra 3.19, new league in Path of Exile. I am just quickly checking in to let you know that I have finally rejoined the ranks of Path of Exile players after a very rocky start to this league, where we were not particularly impressed with the mechanic of the league and rewards and other kind of stuff. I'm not going to rehash the latest news, but finally they have deployed a few new patches, apologized for the inconvenience caused, and the league is rather enjoyable, I'm pleased to tell you. So I have done a little bit of a test run with one league starter that I didn't particularly enjoy. It was a poisonous concoction pathfinder, and now I am testing a different build which I'm quite enjoying. Of course, nowhere near high enough for you to to give you my own build, but a check-in was worth my while, I suppose, and hopefully will be worth yours. It is basically an explosive arrow ballista champion build. It is based on several builds, I suppose, but one of the kind of main build guides that I'm using for this is one from everyone's favorite Zizaran. So I'm just using his build as a guideline for myself to build a more or less educated, all-rounded, explosive arrow ballista champion. And I will, as always, once I feel more confident with this build, once I'm a little bit further into the levels, I'm just approaching 40, I know it's nothing yet. Once I feel a bit more confident, I will produce my own simplified guide, as always, which has fewer nodes, which has fewer dependencies on high level items. And in case you're new here, I probably should kind of spend 30 seconds to tell you that I never aim to scrape the real high-end kill Cyrus on every single boss imaginable. What I aim in every league, in every game, with every build, is to have the most enjoyable, most straightforward, most easy to explain, most easy to put together build that kind of kicks ass, but at the same time does not have to be absolutely bulletproof and cost exalts upon exalts. So if this is your cup of tea and you're a casual player, or even better, a complete noob, complete beginner of Path of Exile, and you just want an unpretentious, very simplified narrative from a friendly player just like you, subscribe to the channel. Like the video while you're at it. It takes a lot longer to put these videos together than for you to click that button, and it tells me that I'm doing something right. So let's kind of just to give you a little bit of an idea of what this build is like, because the build guides out there are detailed and better than mine, but they are very complex as well. So from a simplified version, explosive arrow ballista build essentially is a totem build. It's a totem build. So we are starting as something else. We're starting as just a bow build. We start with different players start with different skills. I will tell you what I started with. And then we start relying more and more on ballista, on summoning a totem, and that totem fires a specific spell, yeah, which in our case, the highest bang for our buck, the most damaging skill available to us at kinda early-ish game towards level 30, becomes Explosive Arrow. Explosive Arrow is a fantastic skill that you will have to get to Act 3 of the campaign before you get it. You don't get it straight away. You can start with the Burning Arrow, you can start with the Caustic Arrow, you get Caustic Arrow and you get Burning Arrow straight away. They are not particularly exciting skills, but as soon as you get Ballista Totem, which you will get also fairly quickly in the game, you can start using some of those substitute skills just to sort of start getting used to this playstyle. You will rely on your own direct damage, bow damage, for quite some time, until your Ballista, until your chosen kind of damage dealing ability, which will become Explosive Arrow, with this build, until it starts pumping out enough damage for you to basically give up on doing your own damage directly. That is in essence how any totemic build, how any totem build or ballista build really works. Let's take a look at where we're going with this. You start as a duelist here in the center, you start moving down over here, you're doing the usual agility based kinda but bow skills focused build. So you are taking Avatar of the Hunt, you are taking Fury Bolts, you are taking Farsight, and at the same time you are taking a little bit of a thick skin, a bit increases to your life, and you are taking increases to your accuracy rating and boosting elemental resistances in the process. And then We take a long, rather awkward looking journey up here, spending quite a lot of points going past notable constitution nodes which are boosting our life further, and going up this way with the intent of taking these nodes: sanctity, discipline and training, boosting elemental resistances further, and elemental damage, because explosive arrow does fire damage, holy dominion, things like that. And as you will see in the POB, or obviously not finished here in the game for me yet, we will be going towards ancestral bond. Ancestral bond, and there are quite a few obviously skill points still to be spent and still to be taken before we can get to ancestral bond. Once you take ancestral bond, as needless to say, it's right there on the screen in front of you, you will stop doing damage yourself. That is when your current, whatever it is, primary skill will stop functioning, and you will fully be like kind of fully entrust your success or failure to your totems or ballistas. In this case, I'm not there yet, as you can see, which I'm quite comfortable with, because at this stage of the game I would not trust my ballistas to carry me through fully. Even though, I have to be honest with you, I started with burning arrow based ballista, which was kind of flimsy and kind of not doing all that much damage to write home about, which is why I supplemented my damage with the Rain of Arrows. I quite like Rain of Arrows. I know it's not insanely popular skill, but if you try it, especially as a beginner, I reckon for clearing of the maps, of the early maps, while there is no particular issue with super tough bosses and that kind of stuff, you will actually enjoy it a lot, because you fire the arrows into the sky, they land and they kill everything around you. It's quite a nice skill. And now, kind of towards the end of Act 3 and start of Act 4, finally we start getting 4-socket items. With 4-socket items, you can obviously support your primary skill with a few more or less substantial contributions to it. Because before, when you only have like 3-socketed items, kind of as a beginner, with not too much access to anything more fancy yet, it is really not that exciting, to be completely honest with you. So you need to get through the first, unfortunately, 30-ish levels without too much excitement, I suppose. And once you get Explosive Arrow in around Sun encampment, after you kill General Gravicius, you will be able to buy Explosive Arrow from the vendor. Because you are a duelist, you will not be given that arrow as that skill as your primary kind of skill, because your primary skills are awarded to you as quest rewards. I'm saying it for complete beginners. I am using Rain of Arrows already for a while, pretty much since rather early in the game, as soon as I got it, to clear the maps and as my primary ability. Yes, it lacks single target damage before you try and point it out to me, I'm well aware of that, but it is tremendous in terms of fun and in terms of how effectively it's clearing larger areas of the map, basically, especially if you support Rain of Arrows with Mirage Archer, your imaginary friend. Mirage Archer will continue firing Rain of Arrows after you did a couple of blasts yourself, which is quite fun. So it's kind of like an auto cannon that continues firing. Unfortunately not for too long, but still it's pretty cool. And then I'm also using something as simplistic as fast attack support, so that I can just continue pelting everyone with arrows. And just recently I added fire damage support. That is because I am not using the quite a notable skill called Elemental Equilibrium. Elemental Equilibrium, it's out of scope of this little check-in to explain how Elemental Equilibrium works, but Zizaran talks a lot about it in the build description in his POB. Essentially, it is removing resistances to a specific element from the enemies as long as you don't hit them with that element. Which is why, if I was to take this, I shouldn't be adding fire damage anyway, because my primary damage is fire. That is putting it very, very simply. And we talked already about the main thing that we're playing with here. We're playing with Ballista Totem support that you get very early. We're playing now with Explosive Arrow that is engaged by Ballista support. Those 3 totems that I'm plugging into the ground, they are supported with elemental damage with attack support. They do more elemental damage. Great, thank you very much. And at the moment, because I don't yet have ignite proliferation support and I don't have yet combustion support, which would be much better gems available later in the game, I am using simply elemental proliferation support so that the skills get a chance to shock, to ignite and freeze. Mainly ignite. We're obviously interested in ignite here. That's about it, my friends. A very, very simple setup. Quite an enjoyable little build here, and I'm grateful obviously to both Palsteron and Zizaran for creating these builds. They are, you know, masters of this game, and they spend countless more hours than I ever will in the game, no matter how long I've been playing, which is why try and reinvent the wheel here? Why not reuse something that they have already been using for quite some time and then simplify it perhaps and make it a bit more accessible? That's what I do on this channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully this was an enjoyable little check-in, at the very least to tell you that I'm still in Path of Exile, especially if you joined this channel and subscribed a while ago and were waiting for some updates from me. Look, Lake of Kalandra, this is not specifically us talking about the expansion and mechanic of the league and that kind of stuff. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to share my opinion and, I don't know, guide you through this if required. It's really not rocket science, honestly. It's an okay league. It's an okay league. I am not too excited to be back, but I am enjoying it. It's reasonably enjoyable. That is my short version of this. So once again, thank you for tuning in. If you want more from me, specifically on Path of Exile, Lake of Kalandra, this particular build, please be explicit in the comments down below, because if people are not particularly interested, I just play for my own enjoyment, and if people are very interested in a particular topic and are vocal about it, that is when I put some time aside and I usually produce videos on that topic. So please do not expect me to be a mind reader and just keep pumping out stuff that, I don't know, falls on deaf ears. Nobody wants to do stuff like that. I certainly don't. Plus, additionally, I returned to World of Warcraft recently, so now my free time is subdivided even further. So hopefully you understand where I'm coming from here. It was great to check in with you. I am enjoying Path of Exile, but at the same time would love to reconnect with my Path of Exile crowd and hear what you are doing. Are you enjoying Lake of Kalandra? Would you like more content from me on Kalandra and on specific builds? Let me know. Don't be shy, otherwise I won't know. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll be speaking with you again about something else, Path of Exile or World of Warcraft related, very soon. Bye for now.